How's it going, everyone? So today we're going to be taking a look at a TOEFL speaking task 1 question two of my students received yesterday, one from Iran and another from India. So some people think parents should punish kids for their bad behaviors, while others think parents should reward kids for their good behaviors. Which do you think is better and why? All right, so actually, I've encountered this question quite a bit. It's not a new one, but it's one ETS loves to throw out at test takers because they mess it up all the time. So this is kind of like a psychology kind of question, okay? You really have to think about this psychology topic. So like, punishments, behaviors, discipline, rewarding. So yeah, it's closely related to psychology. And a lot of people are just not used to these kinds of question types. So here, I'm going to go with the more positive answer. Like if I were taking this exam, I would go with this version. But I'll show you the opposite choice as well, because it could be argued. You could always go either or in TOEFL. So this is the one I find to be easier. So my reason, my choice is reward. And I have two reasons here. So reason one, kids will repeat the good behavior. And why? Because they're going to make an association between the good behavior and receiving some kind of reward, usually an external reward. Now here, second reason, basically what you could do if you have troubles coming up with a second reason and you really want to have one, think about why the opposite choice sucks. What's the problem with it? What is the criticism of that opposite option? So here I mentioned, punishment, and it doesn't make things better. It makes it worse in one way or another. And then here I kind of like mentioned that, these kids, these children, they're more likely to become angry when you punish them, right? And when they become angry, I didn't have time to write this down because you only get 15 seconds. It's not a lot of time. You want to think about that next step as you're speaking. Well, obviously, if they're angry, they're probably going to repeat the bad behavior or they're going to do worse things. Be creative. Think about what could possibly happen. Put yourself, in this situation. Imagine it. So you could use so instead of well if you want. Another discourse marker, doesn't matter. So I definitely believe that parents should reward their children for good behaviors. I paraphrase think to believe just right off the bat to show off my vocab, kids to children. You don't have to, but the more you do this, it does help your score somewhat. First off, by rewarding them for behaving correctly, kids are more likely to repeat those desirable behaviors and habits. Try to use this by form, guys, by rewarding, this kind of present continuous form. If you could master this, it'll make a lot of task 1 questions easier because you'll use this a lot. This is because children learn to associate good behaviors with rewards. So sometimes I don't jump into an example. I might kind of give a more specific reason for that first reason, and then I'll jump into my example. Like when I was a child, anytime I washed the bathroom once a week, my mom would give me $50 at the end of the month. So I was likely to repeat this behavior the following month. So this is our result sentence right there. We finished the point. Now, like I mentioned just a moment ago, for reason 2, sometimes you don't have to really add like a second reason in the natural way by saying also on top of that, furthermore, you could do that. That's fine. What's more? Blah, blah, blah. Or what you could do is kind of decide to complain or criticize the opposite choice, the opposite answer option. So here I'm going to use on the other hand. You could use but or however, whatever you like. On the other hand, punishing kids for undesirable behaviors can make the situation worse. So that's like exemplifying, right? There's no guarantee that a child will stop with the bad behavior. In fact, so now I'm really emphasizing the point I want to make. Punishing them might make them become angry, and as a result, they may repeat the bad behavior or make things a lot worse than they already are. So that's like a little consequence of this. Now, let's say we decided to go with the second answer option or choice. So here I have punish, And reason one, again, this is a two example attack. So I'm pretty much thinking that they're going to be scared. So they're going to refrain from repeating that behavior again. So they're not going to do it, or they're less likely to do it, right? And then here I mentioned that rewards themselves, they could be a problem, they could be problematic or detrimental. And maybe you're not able to reward your kids or your children all the time. Maybe you just ran out of money, you just don't have money anymore, or for whatever reason you just decide to stop rewarding them. Well, think about that. I didn't have time to write this down. You only get 15 seconds to prepare, but what would happen that very moment you stop rewarding them? Well, obviously, they could possibly return to that bad behavior, okay? So think about what could happen. All right, so to me, another discourse marker, I definitely believe that parents should punish their children for bad behavior. So far, almost the same. Here's a different one. First of all, you can use to begin with, firstly, whatever you like. By punishing them, so you can see the form is pretty much the same. Whether I'm talking about punishing or rewarding, we could use this by preposition for this kind of sentence type. By punishing them for inappropriate behavior, so this is another way to say bad behavior. They're probably going to get scared and most likely won't repeat the behavior anymore. To exemplify, when I was a kid, I stole candy from a local grocery store. So this is my example. When my mom found out, she spanked me really hard and grounded me for about a week. Now, if you can, just don't say you were just punished. That's kind of vague. It's a little too broad and general. TOEFL wants you to show off. Be as specific and clear, precise as possible, guys. So if you know different forms of punishments, elaborate on that. Mention what they are, okay? Spanking, on confiscating something from you, right? Taking something away or grounding you. That basically means you're isolated in your room. You're left there to dwell on what you did wrong. So, if you can, show off your knowledge and your vocab. After that awful experience, so think about what happens next, guys. You're kind of telling a story here. It doesn't matter if it's real or fake, but you want to be able to explain this correctly and not mess up the grammar. After that awful experience, have your adjective. I never thought about stealing anything again. So that's the result. That's it. Now, when I go into that second reason, again, if you just want to criticize the opposite side, instead of just adding like a second reason naturally, like also, additionally, furthermore, moreover, plus, what's more, you could instead complain about it. So you could say, on the other hand, if parents or caretakers focus on rewarding a child for good behavior, it can sometimes be a problem. There you go. So, sometimes rewarding isn't that great. Why? And you could have this kind of why setup, like, and then give the reason for it right after. It's really cool. It's snappy. It makes you more spontaneous. So your answer, your response doesn't feel so rehearsed, so memorized. It seems like it's very natural and unpredictable. It really helps the score a little. Well, a kid may only show good behaviors as long as they're receiving some kind of external reward, such as a doll or a video game. So kind of specify that reward. It'll be better. And over time, this can become a huge problem if parents can no longer afford to reward them anymore. Notice that word afford. It's brilliant for this kind of topic. Which means kids could possibly repeat bad behaviors, right? Those inappropriate behaviors, those detrimental, problematic behaviors. If you have time, just say that's my view and get ready for task 2. Hope you guys really enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe to my channel, and have a wonderful weekend.